Oh my God. My ticker can't take much more of this. I'll just be jumping around the living room. I feel like we've won the Champions League, but we've got a big result on the road at Goodison Park. Wasn't pretty whatsoever. I think two very, very poor sides. Two sides who were scared to put a foot wrong, and even overplayed sometimes because of that. I think first half, the goal, I don't mind the zonal and man marking mix, but I don't mind it when the man you're marking is you know, physically can deal with my own, but then the big lads who are marking the zones have got to go and attack the space, and they just didn't. It's a proper mismatch, and people say that Bueno's gone down easily, who I thought had a poor game anyway, but as expected at such a young age. He's come up against me, and he's a man mountain, so it's one of those. It's a really poor goal to concede, but the Wolves return, the Podence goal, I think they're going to say it's onwards after training ground. It looked wonderful. I'm not sure whether it will be, but it's nice to see a bit of innovation on set pieces. It happened a couple of times. We had a bit of joy. So great goal there. Second half was again two very, very poor sides. I was thinking there's only one way this is going to end, because Everton were pushing, and Lopetegui switched to the 5 at the back, which I don't necessarily think it means more defensive, because it gives more emphasis on the wing backs to bomb on, and that's how we got the goal in the end. But my word, performance awful, but you could say pragmatic. It wasn't the best, but it gets the job done. It was ugly, but it needed to be. I think the substitutes, especially in Traore, helped, but he does that in most games. But my word, that's a massive, massive 3 points. Just hope they can build on it now. It weren't the best of performances, but they won't care. They've got 3 points on the board against the relegation rivals. That piles of pressure on Everton, and makes that space between us and the rest of the teams a bit smaller. But my word, I've been bouncing around the living room for about 2 or 3 minutes, and Mrs. thinks I've gone mad. But you absolutely take those. The past few months have been awful, and we're not out of it yet. But that was a massive, massive 3 points, and this review has definitely been different to what it would have been if I was doing it 5 minutes ago with the scores at 1-1. So massive result. Fair play to Lopetegui for changing it, and it worked. I think a lot of fans think it wasn't going to work when he switched to the 5, but the third goal was just wonderful, wonderful counter attack. I thought Traore had slowed it down when his touch took him out wide, which is classic Traore, but put a ball in the box, and ait-nouri bombing forward, great finish, and hopefully those at Goodison who've been there make that journey back home a little bit sweeter. So go and enjoy your Boxing Day, I certainly will, and what a win.
What a fantastic result that is for Wolves. Wolves 2, Everton 1. Can't beat a last minute winner like that. I think on the whole, it was it was a tight game, very scrappy game. The first goal we conceded is Sunday League, really, really poor, very sloppy. And I think it's almost football 101 when you go to Goodison Park, is keep it tight, nullify the crowd for the first 15 minutes, and then you start playing from there. To give them that 1-0 advantage after 6 minutes, I think it was, it's just criminal. And, it's very sloppy marking. I don't mind the zonal marking, because it allows your better headers of the ball to, in theory, go and attack and win the ball. But Bueno versus Mina is an absolute mismatch, and it's far too simple, really, for them to go into go 1-0 up. Moving on from that, I think Podence took his goal really, really well. I think Moutinho rolled back the ears with a really delicate flick over the top. Podence took his goal really well, and 1-1 at half time. I mean, both teams making lots of mistakes. I don't think I think the two very poor Premier League teams as it is at the moment. And 1-1 was probably fair at half time. Second half, again, much of the same, really. Sloppy in parts. I thought our subs made a big difference. I thought that, Adama, Nunes especially, fantastic. Added a lot more energy and legs into that midfield. And, I feel like on the whole, a point would have been fair. I think let's not make any... let's not try and take the piss a little bit. But, to go and win that game, the manner we won it, we gambled, we broke at pace. That would never happen under Bruno Lage. I mean, if Bruno Lage was still in charge after that Mino goal went in, we'd probably go on and lose 2, 3 or 4. So, you know, you can tell there's a mindset shift there. You can tell they're fighting for each other. There's definitely quality in that squad. For 100% we need more reinforcements, but let's just, let's ignore that for a little bit. It's an away win in the Premier League, and it doesn't matter who you are, where you go to, where you are in the league, you've got to earn those away wins, and we've ground it out. It wasn't the prettiest at times, but 3 points is massive, and I think ait-nouri took his goal extremely well, so composed, waited for the ball to drop for him, just about to poke it in, and yeah, it's a fantastic 3 points on the road. Loads of optimism there. Seeing Lopetegui being so animated after the game as well, you can tell how much it means to him, the players, and that's all we want at Wolves. That's something we haven't seen for so long. Is like actually the players giving a shit really, or at least appearing that way. And you can tell there's a lot of belief in that squad. There's a lot of harmony, and Lopetegui on the Amazon Prime coverage after the game spoke extremely well about why he made the changes, why he went from a back four to a 5, and that allowed more space further up the pitch for our more dynamic players. And you know what? He's played exactly into his hands, so fair play to him. Onwards and upwards now. Man United home on New Year's Eve. Yes, we played Gillingham at home on Wednesday and won, but I think it's going to be an absolutely fantastic atmosphere. They could be anything at the moment, Man United. All the Ronaldo fiasco, they're coming back from the World Cup. We've still got Varane. Martinez probably still out. Who knows? It's going to be interesting, but we've just got a load of confidence now going into that game, and I can't wait now. I really can't wait. And Lopetegui's put a smile back on my face. And yeah, see you all on New Year's Eve. Bash!
Wolves 2, Everton 1. Brilliant away win on Boxing Day. Don't get much better than that. Last minute, ait-nouri winner. He came on for Bueno probably about halfway through the second half. Seemed a bit of a strange sub at the time, changing the left back, but obviously worked out to be a masterstroke from Lopetegui. And to be fair to ait-nouri, when the hopeful ball from Everton in the 93rd, 94th minute has gone into his left back position, he's won the ball, laid it off, and then absolutely busted a gut to get in the box. Released I think it was Nunes in the middle, released Adama. Good run down the wing, crossed it to ait-nouri, and the ball seemed to take an absolute age to bobble up, but in the end it sat up nicely for ait-nouri, and he tucked it in the back of the net, and obviously we got the win, which was the main thing. Brilliant 3 points, great start to Lopetegui's management. Overall, thought we played better, started really well, started on the front foot, pressing well, playing high up the pitch. Moutinho, the furthest midfielder forward, and closing down well. Like to perhaps see Traore in there when he's back fit with a bit more legs, but Moutinho did well, to be fair. Bit of a sucker blow really when we went 1-0 down. Wasn't really sure about the marking for the corner. Bueno seemed to be left with Mina, who was a good foot and a half taller than him, and really just bullied him off the ball and ended up having a free header into the back of the net. So disappointing to go 1-0 down. I think a brilliant corner routine for our first goal. Opponents took the corner, short to Neves, ball comes over to Moutinho, who chips it over the top, and opponents on the end of it then to knock it away. It was at the other end and we were quite close to the pitch, so I couldn't fully see where opponents come from, but I presume he's taken the corner and then run back into the box unmarked and tucked it away, but it'd be nice to see it again. But yeah, overall really good performance, liked the way we played, good pressing. Thought when Totti come on we still didn't drop too deep, went to 5 at the back, but we're still quite attacking and pushing forward. Perhaps sitting a little bit, seemed like we were sitting a little bit deep right at the end, but as I say, it worked as Everton played a hopeful ball with nothing else really on, and we broke with pace and stuck the ball in the back of the net. So if we keep playing like that, long may it continue. Obviously Kuna announced, not sure I pronounced that right, but 50 million, initially on loan with the obligation to buy. I think again that will make a big difference up front. Thought Costa had a good game, but just a bit more younger, fitter, more mobile striker. Again, I think will make the difference in there. But overall, last minute winner, doesn't get much better than that. Makes a trip on Boxing Day well worth it. 3 points off the bottom, up to 3rd from bottom as it stands at this moment in time, and hopefully another win or more wins to come will keep pushing us up the league. But doesn't get much better than that under Lopetegui for his first start, and long may it continue.
Big win, big 3 points. Hopefully kind of going to set us on the right path Going from the back, I thought Jose had a great game. A little shaky with his kind of passes, definitely put some people in some tight spots, but overall, some big saves. Kilman and Collins, one of them clearly needs replacement, maybe even both of them. So they just need veteran leadership in the back, and none of them can provide that. I thought Hugo Bueno was kind of limited because Kilman kept giving him passes that by the time Hugo got the ball, Gordon was right in his face, and Hugo had nothing to do with it. And I thought Semedo had a spectacular game, saved us on an almost breakaway goal, and I really don't think he put a foot wrong for the majority of the game. Neves, spectacular as always. Joe Hodge, I just think needs time on loan. I think he needs some time playing some real consistent minutes, and I think when Boubacar Traoré come back and we inevitably bring a center midfielder in, he's gonna get that. Same thing with Makisa and Chem Campbell. I thought Matinho was solid. I definitely think he can't play all 90, which we saw today, but I think you can't argue putting Nunez ahead of him. So I think that's what we'll see in the future. Nunez kind of proved he deserved a spot there. I thought Podence was great, especially not flopping. I guess blocking people on Twitter can kind of give yourself a chance to prove something. I thought Costa was basically useless all game. Passes were shambolic. His runs were completely off of what his teammates were looking for. He made deep runs when they needed to hold the ball up, and then he did the vice versa and the other way. So I think he needs a spot on the bench. I think Cunha's going to be a fantastic person to come in with that high pressing. I thought the subs were amazing. I think you can see the passion on the side of the pitch that Lopetegui brings. And I think if Semedo plays like that week in, week out, whoever we bring in right back is going to have to prove himself to get put there. But that's a big if. So, yeah, looking forward to the rest of the season and up the Wolves.
It's finished Wolves 2, Everton 1. Bloody hell, we needed that today. Coming back after the World Cup break, new manager, new way of playing, and it started off pretty much the same as what we have been seeing for the first half of the season. Say, it was quite slow. It was quite lethargic. I didn't think we necessarily played bad. I just don't think it was amazing and much difference has happened. But that's not going to be the case straight away. I think this team will take its time to gradually get better with the reinforcements that we get in and the players that we see leave. Those things will iron out as we get further along into the season. I thought the first half it was quite an even game. Their goal is laughable. I don't know who's doing the corner tactics, whether it's Tony Roberts still or somebody else, but you cannot just put Bueno on Yerry Mina for exactly the reason as what happened today. He's got shrugged off the ball and he's got a free header. But this happens a lot. You always see the smaller lads going up against the absolute giants of the opposite team, and then the two tall centre-backs just play zonal, but the zone doesn't work. So I'm not necessarily sure. I'm not a manager. I'm not a coach. So I don't know why we just don't go man for man in those positions on corners and free kicks as such. But but then what was great to see today was the fact that beforehand, when we've gone 1-0 down, I think game over. Today we didn't look like we'd been beat at 1-0. We looked like we wanted to score. We looked like we wanted to get forward. Our heads didn't drop. We played well to get back into the game, and it's a lovely, well worked corner routine from I think it was Neves to Matinho. The Matinho's put the ball over the opponents who slots home, which is a great finish, and that kind of geared us up for the rest of the half. And I thought towards the end of the second half we played some good stuff, but coming back out for the second half, we needed to carry on how we'd started, but I think it got to a point where it was more of a let's not lose this game rather than let's go and win this game. I think that us losing the game would have hurt us more, well, massively going forward than I know a lot of people were saying today that it's a must win, but I just genuinely think it was a must not lose, really. And we didn't. And we get the late goal, and it's absolute carnage in the away end, and there's bodies flying everywhere, and you love to win games like that. I'm not going to go too much into, you know, oh, this is unreal, what a win, what a performance, because it wasn't. It's the same Wolves at the moment. We all know that, we can all see that, but we will get the players in. They will help us, and hopefully this will kick us on for the rest of the season. So yeah, cheers for having me on, boys. On to Man United next, and we'll see what happens. Cheers.